All right, so here we are on our last shape, a sphere. And we're going to do the area of a sphere and the volume of a sphere. The nice thing about area of a sphere is there's no lateral area versus total area, there's just area. So since the sphere has no bases, right, doesn't have a top and bottom, since a sphere has no bases, we just have area. We just have area. So we call it total area, and the formula is 4 pi r squared, or 4 pi times radius, if we want to write it that way. 4 pi times radius. So we're already used to pi r squared. Now we just multiply by 4. So it's actually not too bad. So here the radius is 8 inches. If I want to do the exact total area, 4 times pi times 8 times 8, 256 pi inches squared, area squarea. If I want to do the approximate, I just take out the pi symbol and I times by 3.14. 4 times 3.14 times 8 times 8, so 803.84 inches squared. And that's it. This one has a diameter of 10, so the radius is 5, so exact area 4 times pi times 5 times 5 is 100 pi centimeters squared. Exact to approximate, you just take out the pi symbol, times by 3.14. I can type all that in my calculator, 314 centimeters squared. If I go backwards, I'm just going to do like we've always done, write out the formula, 4 pi r squared equals 100 pi. Find the radius, so I'm going to divide both sides by 4 pi. R squared equals 25, square root, so the radius is 5 centimeters. Here, this is obviously approximate. 4 times 3.14 times r is 113.04. If I divide by that decimal, whatever that turns out to be, divide by 4 times 3.14, I get r squared equals 9. And the number that's times itself, that's 9, is 3 centimeters. Yep. So that's your area of a sphere. And then volume of a sphere, I'm just going to write the formula down. We know that volume is an inside measure. It's 4 pi r cubed divided by 3. 4 pi r cubed divided by 3. So at this point, we're just going to plug in our radius. That's the only thing we need to know. The radius is 6. So it's 4 times pi times r cubed, 6 times 6 times 6, divided by 3. I can plug all that in my calculator, and then I would get, what do I get? 288 pi feet cubed. Volume is cubed units. If I want to take out the pi for approximate, times by 3.14, you don't have to write all that down. But I'm just going to type all that in my calculator. Or you could take this pi out and just type in 288 times 3.14. It's 904.32 feet cubed. Yep. One more here, they're giving me the diameter is 18, so my radius is pi, so 4 times pi symbol times r cubed is 9 times 9 times 9 divided by 3. Type all that in. We get kind of big numbers here, 972 pi feet cubed. And if you don't want to type all that back in, you can just take 972 times 3.14, right? Take out the pi, type in the 3.14 instead, 3052.08 feet cubed. These going backwards ones, these are a little tricky, I won't lie. I'm going to write the formula divided by 3 like that equals 36 pi. So you got to remember a little algebra. If I times both sides by 3/4, and the pi's will just like cancel out, right? So the pi's will cancel out. If I multiply both sides by the reciprocal, I get r cubed equals 27. So I have to think what number times itself 3 times is 27, and of course that's 3. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Here, if I try it again, 4 pi r cubed divided by 3 equals, it looks like 32 pi over 3. Again, the pi's are going to cancel from both sides. I multiply by the reciprocal. I get r cubed equals 8. The number times itself 3 times, that's 8, is just 2. 2 centimeters. And then the last one, this is just a little bit extra. This is a hemisphere. Why do I have exact total area of sphere? And then, I don't know why I have lateral area. We don't need a lateral area of the hemisphere. Oh, we do, because we got it. Okay, never mind. Okay, so here we go. So we got the radius is 3, right? Radius is 3. And then I would have to say, okay, 4 times pi times 3 is 36 pi centimeters. Yeah, centimeters squared. And then the fraction, the hemisphere is always a half. So yeah, I don't need lateral. I was right to cross it off. I just have to take half of that. So 18 pi centimeters squared. So you're just dividing it by 2, basically. And then I think I did the same thing with the volume. So 4 pi r cubed 3 times 3 times 3 divided by 3 actually turns out to be the same thing, 36 pi centimeters cubed now, and we just take half of it, so 18 pi centimeters cubed. So the hemisphere is just dividing it in 2. That's all it is. And there you have it, our last shape, sphere. Area of a sphere and volume of a sphere.